digging too?
Yeah. Welcome back to the channel today, everyone. Thotgor here, and today I've got a battle in my Miyoko, and we're on hotspot. You can also notice there that I am platooned up, or divisioned up rather, I should say. We're in ships here. Divisioned up with BZ-57, so he's a member of my clan here. He just got his ranger a few nights ago, so we're taking out our tier 7s and gonna try and get BZ, as much experience as possible to get him into his Lexington. You might have noticed there as well that the matchmaker wasn't unfair, but it was interesting to note the platoon that consisted of that Langley. I believe it was a Langley and a few other tier 5 and two other tier 5s. How they got into this game, I have no idea, but I can tell you BZ had a grin from ear to ear when he saw that. so, so getting back, looking at the initial battle here, it's hotspot. We've got 5 different points to cap. I'm obviously going to go into this point right away, just start capping that. My intentions here were to go continue along onto the west side. You can see where my ship is pointed now, so I was going to take this point, I was going to go around that island, and I was going to push into, I believe it's the B point there, so that was the plan. But you can see I quickly turn away from doing that. The reason for it is, while I'm on my way over to where I want to go, I am looking at how the team is dispersing, taking a look at any messages in chat that might indicate where the majority of the people are going, and that's where I'm going to want to ultimately be. There's nothing that says you can't continue along your original course that you wanted to, but once you realize that no one else is going to be there, or only a few of you are going to be there, and it looks like you would be better off somewhere else on the map. You could obviously turn and go to those better locations, but you can still shoot at ships while you're repositioning. We won't call it retreating, but while you're repositioning. So that Nicholas popped up there. On this map, I never, unless you're in a destroyer, and even then it's questionable, but I would never recommend going up that channel right at the beginning. It's almost like the same thing as Twin Brothers, only this channel isn't going to lead you right into the enemy base. It's going to lead you right into the face of whatever ships they have coming down the channel, which is usually a destroyer, maybe a cruiser there as well. So, don't go up that channel right away. Keep your distance. A lot of people are just going to go to the channel, launch their torpedoes, much like that Nicholas did there, and then retreat, hoping to get anyone caught in it. So try and keep that in mind, at least until the first torpedo strike is gone. Then maybe consider pushing up the channel if it's advantageous to you and the team. In this instance, I'm not going to be going up that channel. No way. I saw the Nicholas there. You can see he's got some cruiser friends. That's a Cleveland there, so no, I'm not going in there. Looking at the map, it did look like the majority of the team was headed towards the northeast. So that's kind of where I want to go at this time. See what I see, and maybe what I can get some kills with. So I'm starting to move into the center of the map here. This is typically where most of the action is going to happen on this hotspot map. Word of caution, again, don't go into the center of this map right away. This is the point where all of the ships who spawned are going to converge. Keep your distance. Let someone else who's stupid enough to go in there first, and then maybe try and support that person. Now, I do have a destroyer friend with me right now, and an enemy destroyer here in front of me as well. So we need to do something about that destroyer right there. He can't be allowed to use that little bit of land there as cover. So I'm putting shots into the battleship. I do have high explosive loaded because I'm saving it for when I can get a shot off on the destroyer. I don't want to have armor piercing loaded on maybe the one chance I get to take a shot at that guy. So high explosive is in the barrels, and I'm shooting it off at the battleship. It's working out well anyway with the high explosives on that battleship. Getting pretty good damage. Now right here you can see why I had mentioned, don't go into the middle of this map right away. I'm not even in the middle yet, but look at how many enemy ships can see me and how many enemy ships can shoot at me. This is what you want to avoid in this part of the map. It's along the sides and to the south and to the north that you have those rocks, well, rather islands, that you can use as cover. Making a dash out like this is pretty risky, but I'm going to do it. Now, I lost sight of the destroyer, and I have this cruiser here in front of me. I believe it's a Phoenix. I'm loading armor piercing, and I'm getting citadel shots on that guy. There he goes. That's my first kill. Phoenixes and Omahas. If you see one, load your armor piercing. They are citadel machines. You're gonna just destroy them, especially if you're in a more powerful ship than they have. If you're like a tier above them, yeah, armor piercing all the way. Your high explosives will do damage, obviously, but I don't find that you're gonna do as much damage as if you have armor piercing to get the citadel shots. So I'm turning back around. You can see I'm kind of strafing the middle at this point. It has cost me some life to do this. But this is where the majority of the enemy team is right now, and I'm trying to engage them to get them gone. So we've got this Cleveland here. He's going to have to go. Armor piercing is still loaded, and for myself, when I'm in my Miyoko like this, and I'm shooting at a Cleveland, armor piercing all the way. I'm going to get citadel shots off on him. I'm going to do some massive damage, so he's gone. In this instance, though, I'm going to go for the torpedoes. I didn't use the narrow spread because he was so close. I knew he was going to turn like he's doing now to try and evade my torpedoes. So by doing the wide spread, your torpedoes obviously are going to be spread wider and make it harder for him to avoid at this short range. So there we go. Got the Cleveland. He's gone. Now we still have another enemy to deal with here. So this is in Atlanta. Atlanta is fairly similar to Omaha and Phoenix's in that I load armor piercing and I'm going to destroy them with citadel shots. They have paper thin armor, almost no armor at all, so that's how I'm going to deal with this target. But again, going back to the whole middle point of the map not being a lot of cover, you can see the cost that I've paid in my hit points. By doing this and playing aggressively like this, I'm down to less than a quarter of my life left. So from here on in, I have to be a lot more cautious. And this is typically what I find is the trade-off for playing aggressively right from the beginning of the game. If you play aggressively, be prepared to take hits, know when to back away, and depending on how much hit points you have left is going to determine how aggressive you can be in the second half of the battle, if you will. At this point, with the amount of hit points I have, I'm going to have to be fairly cautious here. Sometimes I don't always stick to that, but we're going to try. So at this point in the battle, you can see I'm looking at that destroyer. It's chasing down Bezzy, and Bezzy's saying, help, help, help. We need the destroyer killed, and I'm trying to do it, but I'm not willing to turn around and go back there. I'm supporting the Colorado here in front of me, and that's my job. And then suddenly, enemy destroyer pops in front of me. So, sorry Bezzy, but I've got to take this guy out. I queue up my armor, or my high explosive rather, and we're gonna get some shots off at this destroyer. So unfortunately, that Colorado gets hit. I get really, really lucky dodging some torpedoes here. I'm getting actually pretty good at dodging torpedoes. Not too bad at all. So now that the destroyer is gone, I've broken contact with him. Rather than get the first salvo off of armor piercing, you can see I've decided to load up high explosive right away so that it's in the barrels, ready to go for when the destroyer pops out of the smoke. So there he is. Now keep in mind that that is a Nicholas. So he has torpedoes on either side. So he shot off one side, turned around, now he's shooting off the other side, killed the Colorado. I avoid the torpedoes, put some quick shots into him, and ultimately get the kill. There he is. So that's kill number 2. That's not too bad there at all. Now I did hit my Colorado friend there. You probably saw it with my shots. I knew it was going to happen. It was a risk. I was trying to save the Colorado. And my hope was that I could kill the destroyer before he launched his torpedoes. Just as I was hitting fire, he launched his torpedo, so it didn't work out. Luckily, though, with high explosive loaded, I didn't set my ally on fire, and the amount of hit points I took from him, I'm feel is fairly negligible. So I mean, he would have died anyway. So that's how I'm going to rationalize that friendly fire incident. So I'm in the middle of the map now. I am taking the C point, so this is the best time to be in the middle of the map. We've sort of controlled the zones here. We have control of most of the map at this time, but mainly I can come into the middle and I don't have to be worried about being fired upon from two different sides. That's what you want to try to avoid at the beginning of the battle, coming into this center point. You're going to get fired on from two different sides. You have no cover at all, so really wait to take this C point here. Try and pick the best time, obviously. So I've got a Pensacola in the distance. I'm going to try to put some shots into that guy, see what I can see, and continue my cruise along here. You can see the battle is, we'll say, fairly close. The enemy team is leading, but I'm fairly confident that we're still going to pull this off here. So Pensacola is still firing at me. Our team is taking the remainder of the points here on our east side. So we've got the north and south point on the east side. I've taken the middle point, so it'll give us the cap advantage anyway in terms of earning points. So that's good because that'll help close up the gap. This Pensacola, though, I wanted this Pensacola gone. I was sure that he was going to be turning up the channel, and then I would meet him going into this. Is it a B point? I think it's a B point. So I was fairly sure because I'm tracking him with my torpedo gauge there. But ultimately he doesn't do it, and I've got another enemy destroyer here in front of me as well. So I can't let that guy live. He's awfully close. So we're loading our high explosive. I took a speculative shot there with what I had for armor piercing to see if I'd get him. Didn't get him, but that's alright. We're going to kill this guy here. Bit of a correction. I think I'm actually at 3 kills at this point. Not 2 as I had previously stated. So we get the kill on that guy. That's my 4th kill. Hooray for me. All their destroyers are gone. You can see the enemy team only has 3 ships left. They've got a cruiser and 2 battleships. I think it's an Agato and maybe a Wyoming or a New York or something like that. And the Pensacola decided to turn around. He was going to go into the middle point, so I shoot off my torpedoes at him, hoping to get the kill as long as he stays on that same course. Now, the Nicholas, before I got him, did manage some torpedoes, but again, with the ranges involved and the short range of American torpedoes, I really didn't have anything to worry about. I knew I was far enough so that those torpedoes wouldn't hit me. Just in case there was a glitch in the game, though, I decided to turn and play it safe. I mean, again, look at how many hit points I have. The price I paid early in the battle for being aggressive is now just shining through. I'm using the cover that I have, right? I just can't take any hits. And this Pensacola is very concerning for me. So we need to get this guy gone. You can see my use of cover, so I'm trying to stay behind the island, get the shot off that was high explosive, and get the Confederate for the damage I've done so far, so not too bad. But the biggest thing is going to come right here. He's coming around the corner. I've got my armor piercing loaded. I get all barrels on. There goes my shot. Get the citadel shots on him and kill him. He's gone. Fantastic. He did manage to set me on fire. That would have killed me, but thankfully I had the old repair there. So repaired. We've got it. Good. And that was my 5th kill. So fantastic. It was at this point, you can see someone in the chat there types, Thotgor, you're a beast. Yeah, thank you very much. I was pretty excited at this point, so I'm trying to tell him that I have a YouTube channel, but I'm misspelling it all wrong. But whatever, I throw it out there. If anyone thinks it's cheap for me to do that, I don't go into games and I don't solicit the channel. I don't go, hey guys, at the beginning of every battle, hey guys, check out my YouTube channel, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't do that. If someone comments and I feel that my channel could really help them, or give them something to watch, I'll say, hey, I've got a channel, why not check it out? And that's the extent of it. So you might say it's cheap to do, but again, I'm trying to grow the channel, right? I've only been at this not even a month, so trying to grow the channel, and that's the idea behind putting those messages in chat when applicable. I don't do it every battle. But anyway, Nagato's coming around, and he wants me dead. The enemy team at this point is just, they're, for the rest of the battle actually, they're just hunting me down, trying to get me. And I'm dodging shots like a crazy person. Um, so I'm putting shots into the Nagato, but trying not to get hit. So you can see every time he fires at me, oh, that was close. I think it's 51 hit points I have left maybe at this time, but anyway. Every time he shoots at me, I'm turning my boat so that so I'm not, completely side on to him. I'm trying to give him as small of a target as possible to hit. And that's a strategy that you guys can use if you don't already use it, in any situation. You don't want to be side on to a ship and doing that exchange of full salvos, the broadsides, right? I know they're awesome. I do it. But if you want to try and preserve the hit points you have, or if you're in a situation where you have little hit points left and you need to conserve the hit points you have, try and use this strategy to dodge shots. Take your shots like I'm doing here, try to optimize however many turrets or whatever the angles are in your turrets, try to optimize those positions so you can get as many fired on target as possible, and then straighten your boat out again so that, again, you're presenting as small a target as possible to the enemy, and increasing your chances of them missing. So the Nagato has finally gone around that mountain. He can't shoot at me anymore. And looking at the top of the screen, you can see that my team has pulled this off. If while you're watching the video, if anyone did notice at the top, this was a really close battle. The chances of us winning weren't that great. It wasn't all me who did all the damage and who did it for the team. We also had a Nagato on our side, and that player also really contributed. We'll take a look here at the overall results once the battle finishes, and we can see that. But between he and I, we we pulled this off here. We have 4 points now at this time, and you can see the points. There's no way the enemy's going to be able to win. We took out the Nagato. They just had that one last battleship, and I mean, there, battle over. This was a fantastic battle for me. I mean, you can see all the different awards that I've won there. The biggest thing that I was happy with was the fact that I got the 5 kills, Confederate, and my overall damage done. I did 135,809 damage this battle. It's not the most damage I've ever done in one battle, but that is a lot of damage. You can see the Nagato is just behind me in overall experience earned as well. So, one hell of a battle here. Unfortunately, I forgot to click on the detailed section to show off, so you can actually see the damage numbers and the credits I've earned, but whatever. So, excellent battle. So that's the end of today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching it. I hope you were able to take something away from it today, maybe a few strategies to use yourself in battle. And of course, I thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you guys in tomorrow's video. Take care.